don't want to do that. Nor would Dad want me to do that. So there is a handout in the house that has the eulogy that would typically be said now, written on it. So please feel free to take one on your way out. Instead, we decided to talk about the dad I remember. And when Mom and I were talking about this in the early days of planning the ceremony, one thing that I remember very, very plainly as a young child was reading stories with Dad. He loved to read. But as Garnet mentioned, he also loved to torment you anytime he could, because that's just how he rolled. And he always started off every story he told the exact same way by saying, once upon a time, a long, 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 long time ago. And he could keep the longs going until Megan and I were screaming for Mom to, Dad's doing it again, Mom! He's not reading the story right! He had a lot of moments like that, and Garnet mentioned it. He picked his targets that he knew he could get away with it. And if he got you, he could keep it up for hours, days, even weeks at times, and do it with such a straight face that you might not even be aware it was happening until the little giggle would give him away. And this is something he continued even into his hospital stay. And he had moments while he was in the hospital where the medications they were giving him were not his friends. He had some bad reactions to them. And confusion was one of them. But he always kept the nurses guessing, trying to figure out if he was actually confused or if he was just messing with them. And you could always tell, even if you weren't facing him, because you'd see his little shoulders start to shake because he was laughing so hard. That's just who he was. He loved his family. He loved his friends like they were his family. Especially his crowd of hecklers. And boy, did he have some fun with you guys. And he used to come home at night, especially poor Steve. And he would come in the door and he would say, "Oh, Eve, you'll never believe what I did to Steve today." And he always had a new Steve story. Another person he really liked to pick on a lot was Susie. Because he always knew he could get her. And at one point, he even had Susie convinced that we were going to have camel meat for Thanksgiving because it was an Italian delicacy, and he had a brother-in-law who lived in Ontario, Italian, who, of course, was sending us this camel meat to eat. And he had her going, that was a day, like that went on for quite a period of time before, I think it might have been Megan or myself who gave it away. You know, they don't eat camel meat. I don't know what you're talking about. And then, of course, in educational speak, Dad was an experiential learner. He learned things hands-on. Certainly didn't like to be told how to do things. He always made up his mind about what he thought was the right way to do it. And he often learned lessons the hard way. And so it would become quite comical to watch him do a project. One of my favorites was Al, of course, spent years helping Dad build a deck, fix the roof, build the veranda. There's not very much on this property that Dad and Al didn't conceptualize together and work on. But my favorite one is when they were laying the floor in the living room. And they were using a nail gun that you had to hit the nails with a rubber mallet. And Dad was a little tentative at first, and Al kept saying to him, "No, you gotta hit it a little bit harder." And so Dad took a big swing, hit the the nail gun, but it was a rubber mallet. So it rebounded off the gun and snapped